on this episode of the Sorority Chat podcast.
It's always the comparison game, just like people do it in person or on campus or on your Greek row or whatever that might look like. You're always looking at what everyone else is doing when you should be focusing on your own fraternity or sorority and what makes you who you are. People are tired with the super curated images and posts. Even if they think that's what people want to see, that's not always the case. People want to see more authentic spaces.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Sorority Chat. I'm Liz Alexander, a designer and sorority alum who's obsessed with all things Greek life. My mission? To bring you real conversations, smart insights, and fun stories that help make sorority living even better. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's chat. Hey, sorority chatters. Welcome back to this week's episode. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to tell the story of fraternity and sorority life. Our guest is Guillermo Flores, founder of fraternity, social media, and digital media director for Sigma Phi Epsilon. Guillermo has made it his mission to help fraternity and sorority members share authentic stories that highlight leadership, service, friendship, and the impact of the fraternity and sorority experience. If you've ever wondered how your chapter can stand out in the social media landscape, or how to create content that people actually want to watch, or change the public conversation about Greek life, you're going to love this episode. Guillermo, welcome to Sorority Chat.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be here with all of you, and I just can't wait to have an awesome conversation.
Yes. As I've shared with you when I invited you to come on, I have followed your work for a while on LinkedIn, and I just think you have a really fun energy, and I'm excited to share that with listeners.
Oh, that means so much, because I really think that we can, take these digital spaces and create community in person. And that's what I hope to do with my content, whether that be my personal LinkedIn or Instagram or to the accounts that I run. Just want to bring people together in a time where it can be really hard to not always be together. And it's just been really fun, honestly.
Yes. And there is so much noise when it comes to social media, and there's so much conversation, very polarizing. You love it, you hate it. There's a lot of good and bad that comes from it, but you highlight such positive things and ways in which chapters can use social media for their benefit. I know your background is in fraternity and sorority life with universities. So how did you go from that to becoming the social media guy for Greek life?
That is just, you said it perfectly. It's like, how did that happen? And I think about it, I am very much started my social media journey. I always say it like the beginning of this was MySpace for me back when I was in high school. And, look it up if you need to. It was a great time in social media. And it evolved from there. Social media has been a part of my life since I've been in high school. And then during college, I was maybe made the first Instagram for my chapter and for our IFC as well. I went to Southern Illinois University, and then I went to graduate school at Ball State. At that time, social media was always oh, here, you have to run this because you're good at it and you like it. So just something off the checklist. Well, I just took that and made that really part of my digital strategy when it came to communicating with students, alumni, stakeholders, and different people. And it was always something core to my work when I went to work at universities as a professional, first at University of Houston and then Michigan State. That's how I connected with the new communities. And whenever I was there, because I was running the accounts for the office, but I made sure to introduce myself and let the students know that I was there to help them. And from there, it was, you fast forward, it's 2020, everything shut down. It's the pandemic, and we don't have the community that we had with traveling, being in person, going to events. It was July 2020. I was bored. And so I made a social media account called Fraternity Social Media because I wanted to still connect people and I wanted to get all my ideas out there. And then it blossomed from there to getting a role at SIGEP, working as a digital media director, where I've been there the last 5 years. So I always say it started back in high school because it's been a part of my core for a really long time. And it's been something I've been navigating for years now as I work to really push and encourage fraternity and sorority students to really authentically tell their story, because they think they just have to do it one way, but there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah, there really are. And so it's sort of the world is your oyster, which can be somewhat overwhelming. But when you talk about being authentic, that really helps you to kind of funnel down and determine what path makes sense for you.
Completely agree.
What did you study in college? I'm curious, because obviously you were doing social media as sort of like a side gig or a volunteer role, but was that also part of your studies?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I never thought I was going to go to college, to be honest. I'll never forget my high school guidance counselor, Miss Ridlin, was like, Guillermo, you haven't applied for anything. Like, you're a senior. It's October. What's the plan? I'm like, honestly, life's going pretty well. Like, I work at Jamba Juice. I have a great time. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that thing. And she's like, if you loved high school, you're going to love college. You need to apply. So I've made that happen. And she was such a help. So were all the guidance counselors at my high school. And from there, I didn't know what I wanted to major in. So I kind of just took a semester to figure it out. And the answer really was speech communication, public relations with a minor in sociology. So you just look at like working with groups of people and studying people and then putting that social strategy and public relations. Like, I kind of made my own like passion into this career, which has been just incredible and crazy at the same time, because I did not think I was even going to go to college.
That is nuts though. And good for her for recognizing that and kind of sparking it in you. Like, hey, go ahead and explore this because you liked high school. So you're going to love what you're going to do in college. And then you came up with such a good conglomeration of what to study to bring you to where you are today.
Absolutely. Everything just kept building upon itself. And like, my fraternity and my Greek community was such a big part of where I'm at now. And I look back at those times. It's been years ago, but that's helped build me to the person and the professional that I am today. But it's because I was taking those chances, those opportunities, and like looking at different paths or just creating my own and being like, actually, we could be doing this way. And this is how our digital communication strategy could help us. Those were not words I was saying back when I was 18 and 19. I was like, what are we doing for the Facebook event? What are we doing for an Instagram post that's going to get people talking or excited? So it's been wild to see how it's grown.
Yes. And now, is SIGEP your affiliation?
So actually, I'm a member of Phi Kappa Tau fraternity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Refounding father, freshman year. Had no idea what that meant. I had no idea that we didn't have a house yet. It was so funny because I joined freshman year and I didn't join till a little bit later. And it was one of my best friends from high school. Her older brother was already in the fraternity. And he was like helping me out, getting used to college, like helping me with trips to like Walmart and like getting my place set up and like meeting his friends. But yeah, it was Phi Kappa Tau, and I got to be a refounding father and got to go up in leadership really quickly because we were a new group.
That's really cool. We've had several guests on the show that were founding members. And so it's just very neat to hear what that experience is like, because it's not the norm for everyone. And whether it's a recolonization or if they're, coming to campus new, it's always a different experience. And it's fun to hear about that.
Yeah, nothing was ever handed to me. And that's what like part of the grit that was taught to me as a kid, being like a first generation American and college student, and then getting to be a refounding father in college. We had to figure it out as the plane was going. So it just taught me so much and so many hardships, but that's how I know I can make it through anything now.
Absolutely. And when you're going through those things, you may not always recognize the benefits you're getting from it, right? It seems annoying. It's like, why does everybody else have it easy? And this is so challenging for me. And then, like you said, at some point you look back and you're like, now I know I can handle anything because I was stressed about that and I made it through and I learned a lot from it.
Absolutely agree. And you just like, you look at those hardships from the past and it's like, okay, well, yes, it was hard at that time. And I made it through when I really didn't think I was going to, because it was really difficult, or we didn't have a playbook, or we didn't have help to make us to be successful. And I feel like that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people now, because I've had it hard in the past, and you got to learn from other people. So now hopefully I can help and inspire other people with what they're doing.
I agree fully. I share that sentiment. I recognize how little I knew as I was going through my collegiate experience and trying to figure out where I wanted to land professionally. And I had some really great mentors that popped up along the way. And now because I remember that so vividly, I'm very passionate about letting students come in and intern, or talking to them and mentoring young women just to help them kind of get to the next phase of life.
Absolutely. It's crucial, because without that mentorship, there's people who have been through many of the things that you have been through, even if you don't think they have. And it takes listening, it takes reaching out, and it takes being vulnerable to be like, hey, I need some help. I'm not sure what to do next. Like, who can I reach out to? Who's in your back pocket that you can give a call? And those people always mean so much to me. And now I know I can be that for other people, but I still look at my people who I can call day or night. And that just means the world.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It really helps to have that village around you and to be a part of that for someone else. So let's kind of talk about the state of Greek life online. Why do you think that fraternities and sororities tend to struggle to tell their own stories?
Oh, absolutely. That is such a great question. What is going on right now? What is the struggle? And it's always the comparison game, just like people do it in person or on campus or on your Greek row or whatever that might look like. You're always looking at what everyone else is doing when you should be focusing on your own fraternity or sorority and what makes you who you are. And it's a lot of clickbait and rage bait in terms of what people think they want to see. And I think I've just seen so many, either chapter accounts or different fraternity or sorority accounts that just want to like shock people. And it's like, yeah, that gets you the clicks and the views, but is that telling the story of who we are, what we're actually doing? It's not always the case in that regard. So I always say that no one always wants to be different on social media when it comes to their fraternity or sorority because they want to be like everyone else. People will see success when they try something else on social media that's different or new, or that's not always so carefully curated. People are tired with the super curated images and posts. Even if they think that's what people want to see, that's not always the case. People want to see more authentic spaces.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot lately. Like it's better to kind of show up rough and tumble rather than that just super polished and just be a real person instead of looking like you have curated it or practiced it or reshot it 15 times.
And that's really what we try to do. Like if you go to the fraternity social media, Instagram, it's literally, you type in fraternity social media, it's going to pop up. You go to our Reels page, like you'll see our best performing content is things that are B-roll, that are more chill, that are more relaxed, that maybe give you something to think about, but it's not super stylized and professionally shot. And I think for a long time, people thought they had to get these really crazy rush videos that start with the drone shot and it shows the house and it has all of these different images that are super polished video. That's not just always the case. And I'm really trying to like help young men especially be more authentic with their storytelling because they don't want to post or they don't want to get that information out there and they want to do the same things everyone else is doing.
So I have a two-pronged question now. If you're just looking at like an average Greek Instagram today, what is something that you wish a chapter would stop posting? And then what is something you think they should post more often?
Love it. So chapters and like even Greek life office accounts, they need to stop posting graphics. It's just, you've got to have people on the post or the picture. You're going to see that a graphic with just information and a bunch of tiny words is not going to get you anywhere because no one's going to spend time reading that post. So I wish that they would stop doing that. I just worked with a chapter the other day. Shout out to, they were a Western Michigan fraternity. And I love it because people will send me they'll send me their graphics or their work for review before they post it. And then I'm always like, how honest do you want me to be? 0 to 10. They're always like, give me the 10, like, give it to me, give it to me real. And I will. And I gave them all this incredible feedback. And now they're going back to the drawing board and taking that flyer that they had and making it less graphic and making it more people and action centered. So you get to know a little bit more of the people behind who the fraternity is. So I would say post less flyers or just honestly stop posting flyers. If you have to, make it a story, like be more specific with what information you're trying to get out there. So that's what I would say you need to stop doing because some accounts, that's all you see, just graphics, and you see no one's faces or who the people are. Something they need to start doing more of is short form video content, reels that are more authentic and relaxed. Like look at your B-roll from the spring and fall and just like, when was the time you all were hanging out and you shot a video? How can you put some fun text over it and just like make it a fun moment? I think people need to be okay with being like silly on social media because it makes people more realistic.
Yes. Okay. Very, very good advice. How do you feel like branding comes into it? Because there's a certain level of branding from both the like chapter at a certain university, but then also the national organization. So how does that piece fit into still being authentic and being people-centered?
Absolutely. So I look at a big source of inspiration for me is like National Panhellenic Council, NPHC, and Multicultural Greek Council, MGC organizations. So more culturally based groups like historically Black fraternities and sororities and like historically Latino, Latina, Asian fraternities and sororities. They are going to stick by their brand guidelines, and you're only going to see them post their official colors. You're going to know who that is on campus. So I love that aspect of it. So I would say what I always call them like our historically housed groups. So maybe groups that might have chapter houses or facilities. They might change the color scheme every time that there is a new chapter officer who's in charge, or anytime there's a new rush shirt, or it's going to be a new recruitment cycle and the colors are completely different. You might see a couple of the same colors, but it's all different. So I would say lean into what your national headquarters provides and work to make it your own.
Ooh, that's good. That's good advice. Do you have an example of that? Like if somebody's listening, they're like, okay, I know what our brand guide is, but then how can I adapt it a little bit to make it suit our chapter better and make it our own?
Absolutely. So I think about Mercer ATO. That's a chapter that I love working with on fraternity social media, and just they do really great work. You're going to look on their page. You're always going to see the ATO blue and gold and intertwined in all of their posts. And it also aligns with their national headquarters page, but they definitely make it their own. So that's been absolutely incredible to see. I would say also a lot of Pi Kappa Alpha chapters, they also work with their garnet and gold in terms of their color structure. And they also work to make it their own because it also aligns with their individual campuses. So I feel like those fraternities that really spend time with their color scheme and their brand, like it helps get the voice out there for the rest of their chapters nationwide.
No, those are good examples. I appreciate that. I think it's always nice when people can have some tangible things that come up in their mind's eye and start to use that as some guidance for their own work.
I'm such a tangible and practical person because that's how I learn. I need to look at what else other people are doing or what are good examples of what should be out there. Another one is Farmhouse Troy. They are just always, they always use the farmhouse fonts and logos, but they still make it Troy University and that color scope. And just how they put those two together with their storytelling is really exciting.
Nice. I'll have to check those out. If there are members who aren't creative, how would you suggest that they can still contribute to great chapter content and play a role in what the chapter's creating and putting out there?
That's such a great question because I love when someone tells me they're not creative because I challenge them so quickly. And it's like, well, how did you decide what to wear today? How did you decide what you wanted your phone background to be? How did you decide what you wanted, your book bag or whatever you used to carry your materials? Why did you select that? Why did you pick that? Why are you driving that car? And they're like, oh, it's because I like this, or this gave me this memory of something in the past that has inspired me, or just something that is a brand that that's come a long way with me. So then I say, all right, you just made a mood board for yourself in terms of what you do like, what makes you who you are. That's creativity. That's putting your likes and your passions out there, and it's showing who you are as a person, how you're presenting yourself. And they're like, oh, okay, that's a really good point. So we get some of the best ideas from the members who think that they're not going to be giving too much into the creative or the social media process for their chapters, because that's who I love hearing from. Because that's one of the target audiences, the ones who think that they're not going to be part of this process.
I love how you reframed that for them, because sometimes that's what it takes. It's just mining down and digging a little bit deeper to show them oh, you do have this skill. You're just not thinking about it in the way that it applies for you.
Absolutely. And that's when I get the opportunity to go to college campuses around the country and be a keynote speaker and do workshops. I'm like, we're not just having your social media chair and recruitment chair here. We want as many people from the chapter here because they need to hear this message and they need to work together to make this happen. So we'll fill the room, 500, 600, however many people, because that's a message that I need them to think about when it comes to how they're helping storytell for their chapter, because it takes the whole group to do it. And then by the end of it, they're cheering, hooting and hollering, and having a really good time, and understand why it's important that they need to be doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a many hands make light work concept instead of just putting all the heavy lifting on a couple of folks. What role are you seeing AI take in creation and just communication in general?
Yeah, that's always a question that's popping up. I love the AI reels in terms of like, oh, they mentioned it again in a meeting, they mentioned it again at work. And we've been having a lot of this conversation within the fraternity social media team that we have. And some people like AI and some don't when it comes to content creation. And if you've seen the viral couple who scaled the Empire State Building and put up that flag, like that went super viral. And then a lot of brands put their spin on that design. And we did it on fraternity social media as well. But we've been really like, we have a post that says, here's 5 reasons why you should avoid AI. We tried out that AI reel, that post that said, did your fraternity hop on the Empire State flag trend? And it performed really, really well. I mean, it did get some backlash in the comments, but you got to see a lot of different groups. Like here, it says Rush Alpha Sigma Phi. It says Rush Delt, Rush Sig Ep. So I always say, use it to be creative, but don't let it do all your work, because AI slop flyers are just like the most off-putting thing. And people know when it's not authentic. And I truly cannot believe, and I will say this here, I truly cannot believe that professionals are using AI to make completely, in my opinion, unreal photos or images of themselves to post as their profile pictures, to post as flyers, to post as that's who they are. And that's where I'm like, oof, we don't need to be doing all that. So we've got to live in a world with AI because we're already using it every single day. Even if you might think you're anti-AI, are you on Spotify? Are you on Apple Music? Are you on YouTube? That all uses AI. Are you, A, B, C, or D? It's everywhere. It's just a part of life, and it has been for a long time. So how do we learn to live with it and maybe not use it all of the time? We still got to be creative. We still got to use passion in our hearts to help us with the content that we're working to create. It seems robotic when it's coming all straight from AI.
Yeah, it is. But if you use it as a tool to boost something that you're doing or to be a jumping off point for brainstorming, then I think it really helps you in the type of work you do. And it all varies in the industry that you're in, how you can use it and in what ways it benefits you. But I agree, it can't all be AI generated. And I do think the AI generated photos are a little bizarre because that's not authentic and that's not you at all. But there's so much good that can come from it. And you were talking about that viral flag trend. I even saw where you all put out, have you used this yet? Because if you want to, you have about 5 more hours or so that it's relevant. And so you're telling them, you're coaching these chapters on like, if you want to jump on this, do this now because the window is closing and then it won't be relevant anymore.
And I remember someone commented, they're like, I have like 2 hours left. And then they ended up doing it. It was Sigma Nu at Old Dominion University. So it's just to know that like our audience actually listens to what we're putting out there is astonishing to me 6 years later.
It has to make you feel good though, because it's like, okay, we're passionate about this and we want to help you. And oh my gosh, you're listening to us and you are hearing us. And so that we're putting out something valuable that's meaningful to them.
It's one of the most humbling parts of my life that I never thought would happen when you just see the action that college students and alumni and headquarters and professionals, when they tell you in person, like what our work has meant to them or how it's helped them or how it has inspired them to be better. I have never felt like that in my whole entire life. And anytime someone says that, either in person, as a direct message, how we've helped them, like it's just the most heartwarming thing. And I take it so to heart and I take the work very seriously because I know it impacts a lot of people. So we really work to be as respectful and coming from a place where we want to see people win.
It has to be very cup filling and give you motivation to continue doing the work.
Absolutely. And it's also that's why I love my team so much. 6 other people who are on the fraternity social media team, half of them work on college campuses. The other half are current undergrads. And they are just absolutely incredible. We just had a meeting, our monthly meeting. We had it on Tuesday. And it's just the best brainstorming session because we have different council affiliations, different chapter affiliations, parts of the country, and we want to see everyone really do their best.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, I'm curious. We understand that not every chapter has a stellar semester. Sometimes things get a little sideways. So I'm curious, if a chapter is having a difficult semester, what advice would you give them on like how to rebuild trust and rebuild their reputation online, and just some things that they could do to move back in the right direction?
Absolutely. I always say it's okay to be quiet on social media for a little bit and just like take the time to internally process. You don't always have to go straight to a statement or a post that is explaining something. Like, please reach out to your alumni and your headquarters for guidance and support if something unfortunate did happen at your chapter or something did occur, because people want to see you do the best thing for your chapter. And like I said, it's okay to be silent and quiet for a little bit, and you're going to get that back up and running. I've had a conversation just this past spring with a chapter who said they had a really bad fall. And this spring, they're just like, they're not sure who they are anymore. And they're going through a rebuilding process. And it's like, how can you be honest and storytell? Because that's going to be real with people, because people are going to make up their own stories if you don't help share part of what really is going on. So I would say, build it back up, focus on your organization and what you all stand for. And I feel like sometimes when something really bad does happen and you're given the opportunity to like do better, you go back to like your mission statement and what you're actually about. And then that helps you with your planning moving forward. And sometimes you have to like go through that to get better and get to the other side. I will say also, if your chapter is closing and like, sorry, not coming back for X amount of years, and that happens from time to time, like, please, 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 give your social media handles to an alumni or to the headquarters, because then they're not going to have to start from scratch when they have to make an Instagram again, X amount of years later, and they can rebuild from that audience. And I think that's something that can be really hard for some groups, because they get really in their feelings, or they're really anti the school or their HQ, and they're not thinking about the long-term process of their organization.
That's good advice. And that's something that I just don't think we've had years and years of experience with, right? You just think, oh, you create a social media as a chapter, someone manages it. Yes, within the chapter, you're handing off the login and so on. But you don't think about that if there is a dissolution or somebody goes away, there does need to be a handoff so that when you come back, it can just be picked right back up. Otherwise, you are starting from scratch.
Like, I would love for that to be put in like every headquarters manuals when they do their national trainings every beginning of spring semester, just so they have that information. Hopefully that does click with someone. Or how do we coach our alumni to have that information on deck, not to like run their social media at all, but just in case, because things do happen and it's easier to start up with content that you might have had from the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that is very true. Let's do a fun little rapid fire round of questions.
Yes, please.
All right. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Oh, expand though. Tell me why.
Absolutely. TikTok people are just chasing the algorithm and want the likes, want the shares. Instagram has been with me since it started, and it's just really helped me be creative, connect with other people, and just find really incredible friendships that have like guided me through so many things. It's just less, in my opinion, it's just I've grown up with it. So it's just been a part of me.
Nice. Okay. Reels or stories?
Oof. You know what? Controversial stories.
I am shocked by this.
Yeah. People spend less time curating their stories. So they just are more real on there, and it's funny, and you get to see people's different personalities. I love a good reel scroll, and I've been into them a lot more lately, but stories just like, it's fun. I asked the other day, like, I need a book to read because I need to get off this phone thing. I need to get off. I've been on it too much. I need a book that is pages in my hand. And so many people submitted books that they think I should read. So that was really fun.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, you do get a lot more of that kind of personal recommendation in the stories, I think. Best campus photo you've ever taken?
Oh my gosh. What a cool question. All right off the bat, I would say University of Oregon. It's such a beautiful green campus, and they have all like the Nike history there as well. And it was just a beautiful and calm day on campus. I was there maybe 3 years ago now. And everyone, I was like, I love it here. It's so gorgeous. They're like, you literally came at the best time in the best weather. But I remember taking a vertical photo of one of the main parts of campus, and you saw the green, which is already the school color, but then you saw pops of yellow as well. So it just made it look very Oregon, and it was my first time in the state.
Oh, nice. It is beautiful out there. Most underrated chapter event to photograph or video?
Chapter meetings. Because you don't think to make content there, and everyone's already there. You should do some really cool, like getting content moments, because a lot of times like the PR chair or the social media chair is like, all right, we got to plan a time for all to get together and make content. You're all there already.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, perfect opportunity.
Yes. Do it there. Get some B-roll and make some reels there and just like post them and see some really fun stuff you could do. I think of Sigma Chi at Loyola University in Chicago. They did a series where they would do mini mic interviews right before people got to chapter. And there was a question and they had it up there, and it literally got to people chapter on time because they wanted to be featured in the videos. And they always ask such funny questions. Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun. What's a favorite leadership lesson that you've learned from students that you've worked with?
Oh my gosh, these are incredible questions. I would say that students want to be heard and they don't always want to like be told like they're doing things wrong. And to trust that they're figuring this out on their own as well.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. One app every social media chair should have.
It would definitely be Instagram's edits tool, their edits app, because you can make such great short form video content that can be used on also YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And it doesn't give you the watermark. And it's really user friendly. And they keep making a lot, no pun intended, edits to the edit app. And it just has really been helpful with the work that I've been doing. And I don't think a lot of people still have that or use it.
I don't. And I will be downloading it when we get off this recording.
It's an official Instagram app and does wonders.
Great. Good to know. What's one trend you hope disappears forever?
Oh, gosh. This might be for my people. Oh, my gosh. A trend that should disappear forever. I'm not always the biggest trend chaser. So I love that I don't always go on the trends because I'm like, I want to do my own path and figure this out on my own way. But I would say AI professional photos. Like, don't make that a trend. It is completely, I'm on to the next person. I've seen people like literally post on their LinkedIn or Facebooks fake photos of themselves. It is so cringy. I cannot stand it.
Oh, that's a good one. What's next for fraternity social media? What do y'all have on the horizon that's fun and exciting?
Like I said, the team, they've all been posting on LinkedIn. They're like halfway through the year because we have a fraternity social media executive board. So they've all been posting their big wins from the first six or so months. And I would say it's just making sure that these leaders that we currently have, Christian, Virginia, Stephen, Cade, Brody, and Brady, just making sure that they're set up for success for what they want next. I'm training my team. This is the second year we've done a team. I'm training them for what's next, and FSM is going to help them. Overall, for the brand of FSM, it's getting ready to launch the next executive board for 2027. A year goes by so fast, and it's just listening, honestly. Listening and seeing what students want. And very shortly, I will be announcing where we're going to be kicking off the fall semester. We're going to 3 incredible campuses this August and going to do some really different kind of work with those campuses. And that'll be announced soon.
Oh, that's exciting. So if people want to watch for those announcements or they want to connect with you about working with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
A DM always does wonders. You can find me at Fraternity Social Media or at Guillermo XF on Instagram. Also on LinkedIn, Guillermo Flores or Fraternity Social Media. You pop in a couple of those words and you're going to see my face show up. And please don't be scared to send a hello or just say how we met because I always love connecting with people.
Perfect. Guillermo, this conversation has been very fun and I enjoyed having you on. And I know that listeners are walking away with lots of golden nuggets of advice. So thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, I was so excited when I got this ask and I cannot wait to just dive into more of your episodes and the work that you're doing. But yeah, like I said, we've got to use digital spaces to bring us together in person or make those connections virtual just happen because you never know when you might connect with someone down the line or just someone that you can bounce ideas off of. So thank you so much. And always remember to post.
Welcome to Liz's House Hot Takes. This is where I take the lessons I've learned over the last 16 years of designing Greek houses and offer you my pro tips. Here's today's house hot take. Design can either support or sabotage member routines. For study, create spaces that are ergonomic, tech compatible, well lit, and free from distractions. For sleep, consider lighting, noise control, and personal space layout. Sleep impacts everything else. For self-care, members need spaces for privacy, things like getting ready, decompressing, or having a quiet phone call. Thanks for listening to another House Hot Take. For more inspiration, check out the PDR Interiors Instagram or TikTok. I'm Liz Alexander, and this is the Sorority Chat podcast. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you got something out of today's conversation, we'd love for you to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check out this video right here or this one over here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. I'm Liz Alexander, and this is the Sorority Chat podcast. Catch you next time. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry for Don't Touch My Radio. Copyright Liz Alexander.